It's a double celebration of freedom. The American spirit meets the open road in 2026. We honor 250 years of our nation and 100 years of Route 66. Your voice for freedom is right here. Oklahoma's Talk Radio, the new Freedom 96.9. Freedom
Weather.
Today will be mostly sunny, breezy, and cool with a high of 51. Tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 28. Tomorrow will bring sunshine with a few clouds and a high of 51. On Monday, it will be partly sunny with a high of 53. Tuesday will be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, reaching a high of 69. Wednesday will be very warm with a mix of clouds and sun and a high of 74. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's Talk Radio.
Broadcasting live from the command center of Freedom 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma. Saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with Hague Certified Wind and Commercial Roofing Inspector Scotty McCullum.
Good morning, Rick.
Scott McCullum has the day off, so sitting in today, Senior Solutions Specialist Johnny Nicholas.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I guess you get to be a senior after 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a senior in several ways, lots of ways, all the ways.
Retro Radio Randy's still running the show and on probation. You'll only hear him when he screams in the background. Or you can talk to him directly when you call 405-608-4377. We are live streaming today on the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel, and we're streaming the audio on freedom969.com. We'll start as usual with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week. The phone number to answer the trivia question or to just ask a question, 405-608-4377. Later, we'll hear Scotty's view from the rooftop, and it's a, what did you say, from the past to the future, or what was it?
Yeah, just about. I mean, it's a reflection, essentially.
Reflection.
Rooftop reflection.
Good. And then we'll have some after the storm, before or after the storm tips brought to you by Roof RX, and we'll wrap up with Dad's wisdom. But before we even get to that, in the final segment, I'll have a short, humorous feature to honor the memory of a dear friend who recently passed. Coming back from breaks, we'll have some official obscure historical trivia. Now, guys, I had a job in Tulsa this past Monday morning and had the time to take Route 66 on the way back to Oklahoma City. Gorgeous, gorgeous trip. Decided to stop in Stroud for lunch at the Rock Cafe. I couldn't resist the Rock Cafe on Route 66.
I've heard, but never been.
Sat down at the counter, opened the menu, and there it was, a handwritten note that said, remember to say that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. Now, I had never even heard of the Rock Cafe before I pulled into the parking lot. How did your attorney get that note into that menu for me to see while sitting at the counter?
I think it's safe to say he's in your head.
I think you're right.
Maybe there actually is no note, Rick. Maybe.
Oh, don't say that. Although I did eat it right away. I mean, there was no evidence that it was. And with gravy on it. No, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Okay, guys, let's get to our trivia question, shall we?
We shall. Okay. This week, we all were on several very steep roofs. That goes for our solution specialists like Johnny, myself, Sean on some repair work.
Yeah.
And also our crew that was performing some roof replacements. Though we are half Oriamnos americanus, which for most of you who don't know, that is mountain goat.
Mountain goat.
There is a certain pitch at which we must tie off. We must anchor off and use a fall protection assist system. What is that pitch that is essentially in the guidebook, the roofing guidebook, or what do you call
Code book?
Regulatory
Okay.
guidance
Yeah.
set forth by several agencies, one of which might be OSHA, OSHA,
Right.
Occupational Safety and Health Administration. What is the pitch at which we roofers, inspectors, and anybody else really that has a reason to be on a roof must tie off using a fall protection assist system? Is it A, 4 and 12 pitch, which equates to an approximate 18.4 degree angle? Is it B, 7 and 12 pitch, which equates to a 30.2 degree angle? C, 9 and 12 pitch, which equates to a 37.9 degree angle? Or D, 12 and 12, which is a 45 degree angle?
If you think you know the answer to that question, give us a call at 405-608.
We'll repeat this several times.
4377. Yeah. At what roof pitch must an individual on a roof use a fall protection assist system? Is it a 4 and 12 pitch, 7 and 12 pitch, 9 and 12 pitch, or 12 and 12 pitch? Or if you think if you think you can remember those angle numbers, then just say,
That
ABC.
was really just for reference. I
Yeah.
mean, because some people have an inverted way of looking at it because they're not in our business. They've
Right.
heard different things that are not necessarily correct. So that's why I put those angles there to help people out.
Well,
Visualizing what the steepness might be.
If you just call and say A, B, C, or D, you have a 25% chance of getting it right.
That is correct, Rick.
405-608-4377, and the lucky winner will get their choice of books, either Raving Fans or Unreasonable Hospitality, or 2 free tickets to any Carpenter Square Theater production this season. And I will tell you that this coming Friday night, we open a 3-week run of a Sherlock Holmes farce called Moriarty, and it's a farce. So I mean, it's silly and it's fun, and it's the story of Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, and Irene Adler is in there, and Mrs. Hudson, and of course Watson is in there telling the story.
That sounds fun.
It is fun. I did the sound design for it, so just go for that if nothing else.
Very nice.
We have 10 speakers in that theater, and I use every one of them.
Very good.
405-608-4377. What is the at what roof pitch must an individual wear fall protection assist? 4 and 12, 7 and 12, 9 and 12, or 12 and 12? And even if you don't know what those ratios mean, just say A, B, C, or D.
Exactly.
25% chance.
Exactly.
And we do actually have someone on the phone right now. It looks like Michael. Randy, you want to put Michael on the air as soon as he can make it happen? And there you are. Michael, are you with us?
I am here.
Okay. What do you think it is, A, B, C, or D?
Well, first of all, did you call for the trivia question? Okay.
Yes, I
Randy's nodding his head yes. Well, good morning, and do you have a guess for us, or even a?
I'm gonna say I've had 9-12 and 12-12 pitches, and I tie off on those. But it sure seems to me that 7-12 would probably be the OSHA answer.
Sorry.
You are very close, Michael, but unfortunately, it's a different choice.
All right. Well, I tried.
We appreciate you
It was
trying.
a good try, Michael.
Do you happen to have any roofing-related questions for us, or just topics to discuss?
I have a question about the rubber roof that everybody is putting down, where my neighbor did it, and he swears by it, and that is based on the fact that I live in an area here in Oklahoma City, right up I-35, where it seems all the big windstorms in the summertime. We may not get the tornadoes on the north side of I-35 here in Oklahoma City, but we get the wind, and it blows the shingles off. So he had a rubber roof put on,
When you say,
and he
go ahead, Michael.
and it's like they put the tar down or whatever, and then they did the rubber where they unrolled the rubber roof and melted it to the roof.
Gotcha. Yep.
And is that more
Durable?
durable when it comes to Oklahoma wind?
Well, what you're really talking about, Michael, is a modified bitumen roof, and it is a rubberized product, so you're correct in saying that. And if your neighbor swears by it, I'm glad that he really sees the benefit in his. It is a commercial grade roofing system. It's something that you usually don't see on a steep slope pitch, you usually don't see that on anything beyond a 2 and 12 pitch. Sometimes, very seldom, a 3 or a 4 and 12 pitch. But really, anything beyond that, as far as angle, you're going to see shingles most of the time. The reason that he hasn't experienced wind uplift is because, like you said, they oftentimes, when you do roll a modified bitumen roof, they torch it down, and what that torch, the heat from that torch, that open flame does is it literally melts the underside of the rolled product to the substrate. Whether that's, they usually roll a base sheet, as we call it, out onto the bare wood deck, and then that adheres on its own because of the strong chemical adhesives on the backside of it, and then you torch down the cap sheet, the top layer, the outermost weather-facing layer of the roof, to that mid-ply, essentially, that mid-layer between the roof substrate, the sheathing, or the plank, if you have plank, and then on top of the mid-ply is that cap sheet is adhered. So it resists wind uplift extremely well. It also resists hail impact very well because it's a thick rubberized product, similar to the modern day class 4 shingles that most manufacturers are producing, are the SBS modified shingles. They're styrene, butadiene styrene is infused into the asphalt mixture, which adds that rubberization, that plasticity and pliability, rejecting hail better. And of course, in Oklahoma, that's a big consideration. Although,
does it hold up better? Does it hold up better? That's my question.
Yes, it does on average, Michael. You're going to see a mod bit roof, especially a rubberized mod bit roof. You're going to see that typically last between 30 and 35 years. And a shingled roof, the average lifespan of even a class 4 shingled roof in Oklahoma is maybe 15 years or so at the best.
One of the problems with that mod bit, though, is as that roof
That's
becomes
a very
steeper,
good question.
As it becomes steeper and steeper, the mod bit, correct me if I'm wrong, would be so difficult to install.
You are correct, Johnny. So, Michael, when you're thinking about installing a mod bit roof on a steeper slope roof than a steeper slope pitch than a 3 or a 4 in 12, when you torch down that mod bit, the asphalt is actually going to run downhill, and you see a lot of bleed out, like that looks like black streaking all over the roof because gravity is literally pulling the hot asphalt that's still molten downhill, and underneath it bleeds out past the overlap seam where it's supposed to stop, essentially. So cosmetically, that may be a slight concern, but there is a way to mitigate that. You can usually use colored granule that's specific to that color of roofing product to embed in the asphalt while it's still semi-tacky or wet, so that you can disguise that condition if it does happen when you're installing mod bit on a steeper roof.
Well, I mean, I've had to redo my roof a dozen times in the last 15 years because of wind and everything. Right here on the north side of I-35 in Oklahoma City, all the wind that we get from these storms blows shingles off every time.
Yes, sir.
So,
would you consider yourself having a low steepness roof, a moderate steepness roof, or a very steep roof?
Mine's a 712.
7 and 12. Yeah, honestly, a 7 and 12 is going to be pretty difficult to install mod bit, almost impossible, Michael. But there are other alternatives in terms of shingle products, metal roofing, or other synthetics that are going to perform almost as well, if not better in some cases, than a mod bit roof, specific for your application. Because, like I said, there are some logistical challenges of installing a mod bit roof. Those rolls are easily 100 pounds. Most are about 130 pounds. For those cap sheets, and imagine trying to keep that roll steady going down a pitch that extreme is less than ideal.
Does your neighbor have a low slope roof?
He is at 312.
Yeah, his is a lot more practical to be installing a modified bitumen roof system because of the low steepness compared to yours.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's swearing that we had a couple of really big storms after he had it done, and I lost a shingle too, but his is brand new, so he didn't lose nothing. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't even hear the storm and everything." So,
of course, yep.
That's why I was asking.
Well, it's a great roofing system, and you had a very good question, and we appreciate it. If you have any questions specific for us, you can always call into our office if you're interested in potentially entertaining other options. But if you just need repairs, we're also here for that too, if you ever lose a shingle or two in a windstorm.
Well, I mean, I'm just about to the point again where I'm thinking that maybe metal might be the way to go. But I'll call you guys later.
It certainly could be, Michael, and we appreciate your question, and we hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for the phone call. And our trivia question is still out there. I'm calling an audible here, guys. We're going to blow right through the break.
Nice.
And just keep going because we're already behind schedule.
Gotcha. Well, Michael had a really good question.
It was a good question. That was very valuable. So let me just remind everybody out there, our trivia question is still active. At what roof pitch, which you just heard a big discussion on, at what roof pitch must an individual use a fall protection assist? Is it 4 and 12? We know it's not 7 and 12. Or is it 4 and 12, 9 and 12, or 12 and 12? If you think you know the answer, 405-608-4377. 405-608-4377. All right, guys, the word of the week here.
That's for Johnny.
Oh. All right, the word of the week. Prowess. Prowess is a skill or expertise in a particular activity or field. Example would be Sean's prowess on display as he set a skylight in place on an extremely steep 12-12 metal roof, I believe.
Yes.
Which is about
while
as dangerous.
Standing on toe boards.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, steep metal is about the most dangerous situation. It's just a slide. It's a slide basically at a park.
Exactly.
Slide right down this thing.
And I've spent a good amount of time on that roof, and thankfully I replaced my old harness as a last end of year purchase to deduct from my taxes, and my new harness puts my old one to shame. Although on an angle that extreme, when you spend all day in a harness, it does not matter how ergonomically it is designed. You're still gonna be in pain the next day because of the pressure it puts on your joints and certain portions of your body.
And did you say that was a 12 and 12?
12 and 12
so
metal roof.
That's the 45-degree angle.
That is a 45-degree angle.
That's a pretty darn steep roof.
Your ankles
degrees.
are not really meant to walk something like that.
No.
You think, and from the outside when you're looking, and you think 45 degrees, it's not that steep, but when you're on a 12-12, it feels like it's straight up and down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, feels like a wall.
All right, so while we're waiting for someone to call 405-608-4377, let's talk about your week in review.
Well, my week in review was no different than last week in review. Spent up on a lot of roofs doing repairs with Sean.
Yay.
We're trying to knock our repair list down so that I can spend a little bit more time on the Roof RX side of things and be less in the field with Sean. Although I always enjoy being on the roofs with Sean. It's just something that is taking me away from higher uses of my potential. So
right,
it's it's kind of bittersweet for me, actually.
Did you get all caught up on your repairs?
No, certainly not.
Did any more repairs come in?
Yes. I mean, that's what it is like every week. We take a few off and we add more than a few. So we're, I mean, I'm not saying we're walking backwards, but we are getting more repair requests in than we're actually able to fulfill that week.
Well,
there are some weeks that differ from that trend, but on average, most weeks in the last couple months have been like that, which can be frustrating, but we just have to be thankful for the demand and that people keep calling us. Because,
job security.
Yes, indeed.
If you're listening to this and you want to be a roof repair technician,
absolutely,
give McRoof a call.
Thank you for that,
for
Johnny.
a good guy.
We are looking for several good guys and or gals to that want to work hard, work long hours, get paid very nicely, and be part of a really good team, we think.
And if you think you want to do that, give McRoof a call, 855-766-3405. 855-766-3405. Hey, Johnny, we have 4 minutes in this half of the show. How about some insurance-related tips?
Oh, yeah, insurance-related tips. Deductible amount. It's astonishing how many people don't really realize what their deductible is, how it works.
You have a story about that, I think, that you shared with me before we got on air.
I do. So, quick insurance story. It's not really an insurance tip, but it is an insurance story. Had a customer that did an inspection for last week. They had plenty of hail. Gave them a full report, recommended a hail claim. They filed the hail claim. Adjuster appointment was this week. Everything was flying by, step by step. It's one of those jobs where you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. The customer's ready to go. You give them the information they need, and they're doing it. Adjuster appointment was this week. It went awesome. They got the claim approved, got the claim summary. They sent me the claim summary. Went over it, told them what their options were, and yesterday got a text say, "Hey, what about this deductible? I hear there's some companies out there that'll take care of that for you."
Ooh.
And it just stabbed me in the heart, Customers, clients, listeners, it's illegal to waive deductibles in Oklahoma. So whatever that deductible amount is that you've contracted with your insurance company and signed your name on a piece of paper and promised to pay that deductible, that is your responsibility. Unfortunately or fortunately, we don't participate in insurance fraud or anything like that, so we stay the heck away from that.
Exactly, and it's not just used to back before 2021's legislative session. This was not a law.
Really,
it was not. It was. There was no law about deductibles, governing deductibles. It was still illegal in the way that you are breaking your contract with an insurance carrier for your coverage.
Okay.
Because that's your consideration to them in exchange for coverage for a covered loss, a covered peril on your property. So it was always less than lawful, but now it is outright explicitly stated in the law in Oklahoma, House Bill 1940, that a contractor, for any reason, as an inducement to the sale of goods or services, cannot waive, pay, or discount a deductible.
Wow. Okay. They have the power of the law.
So it is what it is.
Now.
It is what it is, and if you don't like it, don't call us.
Well, people have spent so many years that's been the norm in Oklahoma.
I
can't blame somebody for thinking that's still how it works.
Right.
Especially if it's been 15 years since they had a roof replacement.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I need to tell everybody you're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Scott McCullum has the day off today, so sitting in the big boy chair is Scotty McCullum. Joining him is Johnny Nicholas, Retro Radio Randy, still answering the phone call when you call 405-608-4377. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. Our trivia question is still out there. At what roof pitch must an individual use a fall protection assist? Is it A, 4 and 12 pitch, C, 9 and 12 pitch, D, 12 and 12 pitch. Give us a call. We'll be right back.
For the latest news and trending stories, stay close to Oklahoma City's only 100,000-watt talker, the new Freedom 96.9 and Freedom969.com, Oklahoma's talk radio. Freedom
Weather. Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will be mostly sunny, breezy, and cool with a high of 51. Tonight, expect clear skies with a low of 28. Tomorrow will bring sunshine with a few clouds and a high of 51. On Monday, it will be partly sunny with a high of 53. Tuesday will be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, reaching a high of 69. Wednesday will be very warm with a mix of clouds and sun and a high of 74. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's talk radio.
McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma, back on the air on Freedom 96.9. It's our second half of our live program this morning. On this date of February 21st, 1853, the U.S. authorized the minting of $3 gold pieces. Boy, I bet if you had one of those today, it'd be worth a little bit more than $3. On this
Certainly.
date, and speaking of money, on this date in 1857, Congress outlawed foreign currency as legal tender in the U.S. And then on this date of February 21st, 1902, Dr. Harvey Cushing became the first U.S. brain surgeon performing his first brain operation, totally ignoring the previous work done by a certain Dr. Victor Frankenstein on the other side of the pond. All right, our trivia question is still out there. At what pitch must an individual use a fall protection assist system? Is it A, a 4 and 12 pitch, C, a 9 and 12 pitch, or D, a 12 and 12 pitch? We already know it's not the answer of the 7 and 12, so 4 and 12, 9 and 12, 12 and 12. What pitch?
Also, let us know if you remember the name of a mountain goat, American mountain goat, in scientific Latin nomenclature.
Yeah, they're not going to remember. They're not gonna know. All right, guys. It's been the weather has been quite nice.
Well, yesterday it turned pretty
It-
chilly.
It turned cold yesterday.
and
but
it's been pretty breezy. It was Thursday when it was really breezy, so
Yeah.
much so that the air temperature was comfortable. But being on that steep roof,
Yeah.
in a harness all day, I really should have had a jacket on. Number one, to give me a little extra cushion against
Yeah.
my harness, but
Yeah.
number two, because it was stinking chilly, especially later in the day.
Sure.
I was just wearing a short sleeve polo.
Oh my goodness! As my
So-
daddy said, "What good is it being young if you can't be stupid?"
I think I'll let that simmer for a
There
second.
you go.
That's dad. There's some dad wisdom for you right there.
My Uncle John always said, "You can't fix stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're stupid, you're stupid for a long time."
Yeah. All right. So, fortified roof projects. You're doing
yeah.
some of those now, right?
Well, they've been pretty continuous.
Good.
I mean, now that the Strengthen Oklahoma Homes grant program is operating in the entire state, or I should have said it a different way, but
It's
the grant
available to
is
homeowners.
available to all Oklahomans now, rather
Right.
than just specific zip codes that
Yeah.
are sent out by OID. It is now open to everybody, which means they are getting more application requests.
Okay. Hey, we have Rowdy on the line to answer the trivia question. Good morning, Rowdy.
Good morning. I think, and by the way, a goat, I think, is a Marinormus Americanus.
Pretty close.
Close
Pretty
enough.
close. We're gonna.
Hey.
Good try.
Okay, what was my choices on the question on the answers again?
So we're going with A, 4 and 12 pitch, C, 9 and 12 pitch, or D, 12 and 12 are the three remaining answers.
Well, I've been on a lot of 4 and 12 roofs, and I wouldn't think you need a fall protection, but being that this is some of the rules we have, I would go for a higher one, but I'm going to go with 4 and 12 because you can fall.
Hey.
You nailed it, Rowdy. You nailed it.
That's right.
Nice job.
I like how you used it's a government organization.
You used the old reverse logic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of 412 roofs with no protection and doing metal roofs and stuff. So,
Well,
but
is that your business?
no, I'm retarded. I'm retired.
Well, very
Retired.
good. Hey, Rowdy,
it.
if you'll stay on the line and give Randy your contact info, we'll send you your choice of prizes. You get your choice of either Raving Fans or Unreasonable Hospitality books, or 2 free tickets to any Carpenter Square Theater production this season. And we open Moriarty, a Sherlock Holmes
And
farce.
It's great talking to you guys. I enjoy listening to your show. Like I say, I'm retired, but I've done construction for a lot of years of my life, and a lot of your stuff that, like you was talking about your insurance thing a while ago. I remember years ago when all your insurance, you'd go in there and your buddies would do the quote that was legal, and then they would turn around and they'd do it cheaper. And
Oh,
but,
yeah. Yep.
I enjoy listening to you guys on Saturday morning.
Well, thank you so much for that, Rowdy. We appreciate you having us on your radio. It's an honor, and we hope you enjoy your weekend. Stay on the line for Randy to get you your tickets or your book, and we'll talk to you next time, maybe.
All right, Rowdy, we're going to go up on the roof right now and get Scotty and Johnny's view from the rooftop. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Oh, jeez. Every week you...
I know.
All right, rooftop reflections, gentlemen.
Yeah, this is it's kind of bittersweet that we have begun a new era in not just McRoof, but with Roof RX. McRoof, because of Roof RX, is actually beginning to transition into more of a vendor role for Roof RX, because as you know, over the last few months, we've put more publicity out there for Roof RX. We're getting more calls for Roof RX specifically and organically because of our relationships in the insurance space. The people that we currently have on board as employees with Roof RX, who are working very hard to generate traction in the high net worth insurance space, the property management field, and also leverage existing relationships with local property owners, property managers, and everyone in between. RoofRx is really starting to see an uptick in its attention that it's getting, and also what we have to do every week to fulfill all of the requests that we're getting for drone flights, for inspections, for assessments and prescriptions, and then ultimately, that's filtering into roof replacements as well.
So for folks who may have just tuned in and have not been hearing about RoofRx over the past few months, RoofRx is all about inspections and maintenance, correct?
Yes, RoofRx is a life cycle management company. It's really a data-based, drone data-derived inspection company that prioritizes utmost objectivity in its reporting so that we can be the bridge. Really, we are the bridge builders between property owners and insurance carriers and property owners and contractors, and both of those two subsets of people.
So it's an objective evaluation of a roof rather than some door-knocking roofer who says, you need a new roof.
Yep. And so the center of RoofRx's operation in terms of reporting is really me. If people don't know me, it's better to hear it from other people, but I'll summarize something that Jesse told me over the phone yesterday when he and I had a long conversation. He said it's just so refreshing to know you, because you, no matter what the situation is, are going to tell people like you think it is based on facts, and it's not emotional, it's not biased to one side or another. It's just what you observe, and it's doing your best to get to the heart of the truth without any emotion, without bias, and without your own preconceived notions.
Right.
And that's just who I am. I mean,
Sure.
Trust me, I will always tell somebody if I make a mistake, and I make mistakes all the time. But I'm hard on myself. I'm hard on the people around me, because I have high standards for our family's business, and now RoofRx, which is not necessarily a family business anymore because we've got more outside employees than we do family, but it's a really cool feeling because what we're doing with RoofRx is on a whole different level than what McRoof has been doing for almost 20 years as a local roofing contractor. Yeah. RoofRx probably, it's not completely crazy to think that by the end of its first full year, which is 2026, it's only been operating for one full quarter now, and it generated a decent amount of revenue. In its first full year, RoofRx might very well surpass McRoof's average annual revenue volume in its very first year in business, because it's based on it. We're not limited to a geography. We're a nationwide vendor and a nationwide company,
right?
And we have a network that's deep in integrity and in quality, with drone inspectors, with insurance carriers, insurance brokers, and then ultimately contractors as well. It's an all-encompassing network connecting those three categories of people who have always been, there's always been some unevenness in each of those respective relationships. And we are here to level the playing field, but we're also here to bring people together with the truth. And we started this last year. We told ourselves in every meeting, we can't compromise. I mean, it's not in our nature to compromise the quality of our inspections, the utmost objectivity of our reporting, because if we let one thing slip that we miss or misdiagnose, or we make a misrepresentation of some sort on a report, it's over for us, because that's our standard, is utmost objectivity, utmost transparency, so that we can unite those three categories of people who have always struggled to work together in a harmonious way.
Very good. And with that, we'll take our final break of the morning. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma, live call-in show on Freedom 96.9. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. I'll be back after this with a fun feature by my dear friend Peggy Gandy, who passed away recently. And it's a fun look at driver's license photos. We'll be right back. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live show on Freedom 96.9 on this date of February 21st, 1925. The first issue of the New Yorker magazine was published. And then 6 years later, on this date, on 1931, Alka-Seltzer was introduced. I had a few of those in my time. And then on this date in 1975, Watergate figures Attorney General John Mitchell, White House Chief of Staff H.R. Haldeman, and John D. Ehrlichman, who was big in the Nixon White House, were all sentenced to prison for conspiracy and obstruction of justice in the Watergate scandal. It can happen. All right, so a couple weeks ago, a dear friend of mine passed away. Her name was Peggy Gandy. She was 93 years old. She had been for many years the society editor of the Oklahoman, covering parties and describing the table decorations and the clothes of the swells who attended. But she also wrote a humor column for the Oklahoman and published it in some other magazines around. A couple, 3 years ago, my wife and I started recording Peggy, and my wife has a radio show on another radio station that shall remain unnamed, and so she could play these on her show. Because Peggy's memorial is this afternoon, I thought I would play this one that as one of the early ones that we recorded. I really enjoy it. And Scotty, I want to thank your father for giving me the opportunity to have a personal moment of privilege here. This is Peggy Gandy talking about driver's license.
I think everybody should just lighten up, like me. I'm Peggy Gandy. I want to talk to you about something really serious. Ugly driver's license pictures. Has anyone ever in the history of camera and automobiles had a good license picture taken? It simply doesn't happen. The cameras are set on ugly, or so I thought until I recently found out there is a higher setting for worse than ugly. When you reach that one, you should seriously give up driving. Another alternative is stop going to stores that ask to see your driver's license when you write a check, or whip out cash if they mention license. If you get stopped for speeding and you're having a bad hair day, there's a slight chance you will resemble your picture, which Lord knows does not look like you. In that case, you could be charged with some serious stuff. I will say the camera operator said I could come back the next day and have another picture taken. After going back 3 days in a row, the clerks began to look a little uncomfortable, and I walked in and no one would make eye contact. They knew what they had in that camera, and they knew what they had set on it, and it wasn't going to happen for me. Why doesn't some governor whose wife hates her picture do something about new cameras? Ones that have a setting that will guarantee your picture doesn't look like a mugshot. Although it was too late for me, I went online to see if there was any suggestions for beating this life-changing trauma. Some suggestions I found. Take a selfie beforehand to get your best angle. What angle? It's straight on close-up shot. There is no angle. Pull your hair back and show as much of your face as possible. Too much hair creates shadows, which made you look older and tired. Duh. Don't wear too much makeup and try to look friendly. Don't smile too much. There you have it. If only I had known. I would have worn my hair in a ponytail and somebody else's face.
Thank you, Peggy Gandy. May you rest in peace. And thank you, Scott McCullum, for letting me have that personal moment of privilege. All right, so guys, winter is not over yet.
No, it's not.
And
I know of.
Although we have some nicer weather coming in this coming week, I've lived in this town a long time, and I can say with a fair degree of certainty we're going to get another blast from the north before spring finally warms up.
Yep.
So, some maintenance tips for one's roof between now and then.
Well, I mean, you're a little late to clean the leaves off that fell in the fall if you haven't already, but it's never too late, and it's better late than never.
Yeah.
So I would
just make sure that all the leaves are gone.
I would start with that advice. And in Oklahoma, all the leaves don't fall all at once. So
that's right.
I mean,
I still have a couple of trees holding on to all of their leaves.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a progressive thing. And leaf fall and tree fall, little limbs, twigs, smaller bits of organic material in your gutters and your valleys, sitting on the high side of a chimney or a skylight. Those are leaks waiting to happen. So probably I would recommend you do something about that quickly. If you're not comfortable getting up on your own roof because of the steepness or for any other reason, call us. Call McRoof, and we can take care of that for you.
Okay. What's another tip?
Okay.
Let's hear it, Johnny.
I've got a story that goes with it, but let me just cut right to it. Don't cover your turbines up in the wintertime.
Yes, I agree with that.
I was on an inspection.
Despite what my father used to make me do every year.
Yes, at Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
As I remember.
Old myth. I'm out on an inspection, and there's plenty of hail, and the guy says, hey, you're going to have to pull the covers off the turbines to see the hail in the turbines, and would you mind taking them off and putting them on my back patio for me? So I'm up there for 10. He had these really nice, like, leather bag, like it looks like it was
custom fabricated.
And it's got these string things on it, and then I take that off, and there's a trash bag that's duct taped on it.
Oh, my goodness.
And it took 10, 15 minutes to uncover 3 turbines for this guy.
My goodness.
And then I had to have the uncomfortable conversation that I know he's not going to believe me. Like, hey, as it's really a myth that you cover turbines up in the wintertime, and we really recommend not doing that. And you can just see his eyes like, this guy does not believe a word I'm saying.
Right.
But now that we're official on the radio, somebody's going to believe me.
Sure.
Because I'm in a position of power here, right?
I mean,
right.
it's just
guys, don't cover your turbines up. in the
it's not like
wintertime.
you can say anything you want on the radio. I mean, we have to tell the truth.
So Johnny, explain
Right?
very briefly. Explain very briefly why you don't cover your turbines.
Fair enough. In a nutshell, condensation.
Yes.
So
Moisture.
Moisture. That's right. Although the air is cold, the air is dry. Okay, so you want that dry air coming in, moisture and condensation going out the top. People think that because it's cold, well, it makes my attic cold. It's going to make my interior living space cold, and there might be a slight bit of truth to that, but the control of moisture is more important in that situation.
Right. Okay. One other tip, either of you?
No, that's it. That's all the tips.
Okay.
Call Roof RX. call Roof RX for a triage inspection.
Now hang on a second. Now you're getting into our after the storm tip or before the storm tip.
Well, sorry, but Roof RX is anytime.
Well, I know, but this segment is sponsored by Roof RX.
Okay, Rick.
And it does have a new phone number, 877-4, the number 4, Roof RX. 877-4-ROOF RX. Okay, so now call Roof RX.
Call Roof RX for a $99 triage assessment. That triage assessment is going to tell you exactly where your roof stands in a summary format with photos attached, a written summary of conditions, and an actionable, not work scope. Well, it will be a work scope if you do need repairs, but just an actionable summary that you can use to determine if you should file an insurance claim if you already have sustained enough storm damage over the past several years to warrant a claim if you have not sustained damage enough to do so, or if your roof is in functionally acceptable condition, and if you might need to do any small repairs or if you need nothing at all.
As I recall, when Scott mentioned last week the $99 triage special, it was good until the first big storm of the spring.
Yes, that is still valid, and we could have the first big storm next week.
But
and I'm not saying that because of information that I'm privy to. I have not heard anything about an upcoming big storm, but I'm just saying we're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We've had big hailstorms we've had big hailstorms right before Christmas before.
Yeah.
I mean, so
and they can come with little or no warning at all.
Correct.
Let me say that you have never seen anything like these Roof RX reports. Like
that is true.
Like if you're listening and you're having trouble, like you have never seen anything like the detail, the objectivity. This report is unlike anything the roofing industry has seen. And on the McRoof side of it, I do some pretty detailed reports myself when I do an inspection and do a report for a client. But it's nothing compared to the Roof RX report. Everybody's talking about it. It's the greatest report you've ever seen. And
it's a guarantee, actually, because I don't have any indication that we should believe that there's ever been a company or ever been an individual who has provided the degree of detail and the degree of objectivity in the delivery of their report that Roof RX does as a standard. We haven't talked about this, but I'm going to volunteer that if you're interested in knowing what kind of information you could get from a Roof RX inspection, call me or call Scott. Don't call us personally, but you can call me personally. I'll give you my number, but call Carly. That way she can expedite that process, and she's the scheduler. But we'll be glad to send out a sample inspection report. That way you can see what Johnny has just said, how detailed it truly is.
Okay, for that $99 triage assessment, call 877-4-ROOF-RX. Now, I have to say that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof RX, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. It's a good thing we have a short Dad's Wisdom today.
Yes, we do.
And what is Dad's Wisdom?
Well, sometimes Fast nickels are better than slow dimes.
There you go. This has been episode number 47 of McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
I'm Rick. We'll see you all next week.
Enjoy.